Padre Pio's knowledge is a message from the hereafter to all humanity, which Padre Pio passed on after his death through Wiesław Matuch. It is knowledge that has been hidden for thousands of years, knowledge not only about our planet, knowledge that is uncomfortable and difficult, yet optimistic, encouraging spiritual growth. This knowledge for many will be a huge challenge, but also a true treasure of the heart. It speaks simultaneously about the causes of suffering and the pursuit of perfection. Let's start at the beginning. The creation of the material world presents itself differently than we have been given for years. Padre Pio states, God created heaven and angels only once. He has created nothing until now. However, after a wonderful, beautiful and miraculous life in heaven, some of the angels decided to leave heaven to create their alternative miracles. Well, freedom of choice. Endowed with God's mighty powers, they posed their own private heavens. What we see through telescopes, the cosmos, star systems, planetary systems, became a new heaven for the risk-taking angels. Our earth also belongs to it. It's safe to say that each of us today is a fallen angel. Billions of years ago we took part in the escape from the original heaven. We created material worlds, as it turned out later, very unreliable and imperfect. Through the quarrels and struggles of the angels, evil and suffering were emitted. Original sin, Adam and Eve, is only synonymous with what happened in heaven, where it was decided to leave the wonderful heavenly life. Freedom, curiosity and pride were the reason for going beyond the veil of heaven to create their own palaces of happiness. As we already know from experience, the project failed. A tremendous amount of problems and suffering arose. After separation from God, power began to weaken. There was a lack of power to live. It was realized that a huge mistake had been made by walking away from God. Despite the bad consequences, strategic decisions were made that, however rebellious angels would sustain the work of their hands, the cosmos, drawing into it souls who had lost hope of true heaven. This is what is happening to this day. Billions of civilizations, spread across countless galaxies, function in suffering without heaven and God. All have fallen into a controlled circle of reincarnation to produce energy to sustain life, which was supposed to be a glorious heaven and entertainment. The plan has gone awry. Souls are suffering torment, no longer knowing the causes and truth of their existence. Complete degradation. Taken away our memory, the fallen angels have made our souls wander through various planets, galaxies, civilizations. This wandering has been going on for billions of years. They have created a system that separates us from the truth, separates us from the true heaven, and above all from the magnificent eternal God, commonly referred to as love itself. Most of the angels, however, did not leave and remained in the original heaven. God first decided to lend a helping hand to his failing children. He does this to this day. So he sends beings from heaven from time to help civilizations in the galaxies. Many souls have already received this help in the form of liberating knowledge. They have been able to return to heaven. However, it is a difficult mission to transmit heavenly knowledge in the material cosmos. Almost always breakneck. The rulers of the cosmos do not want this help and set everyone against God. And the sent anointed ones they harm, even kill. In a word, satanic federations do not forgive. That is why this suffering lasts so long. Nevertheless, knowledge is slowly breaking through to the angels, willing to return. Many souls have already saved themselves, departed from the utopian cosmos heaven. They have found their way, thanks to the help of great envoys, to the source from which they left at the beginning of their escape. The material cosmos closed itself to the knowledge of God, forbade communication with him. But thanks to the fact that God has given us a hand and sends from time to time brave angels from heaven into the realm of matter, knowledge multiplies. It becomes a treasure, for through it souls begin to understand cause and effect. Through forbidden knowledge from heaven, souls are helped to leave the evil heaven. They learn anew that the original heaven exists. They begin to move towards it on their own through spiritual development. Eventually, they reach the goal and enter the heaven created by God, and not by mates and mates, as is the case with galaxies' material ones. This is what salvation is all about. Knowledge is liberation, and with the help of love of God and neighbor, it becomes salvation. One such courageous angel was Padre Pio. He incarnates and is born on our earth with a plan to pass on secret knowledge. He becomes a monk and a saint of the Catholic Church, where he is persecuted, like many other saints. In obedience to the Church, he carries out his secret mission to transmit the original knowledge from heaven. He begins his activity, hidden from the world and the Church, during his lifetime and continues after his death, to this day. This book of knowledge of Padre Pio fulfills the criteria necessary for the understanding of life. It reveals the universe from beginning to end. It teaches about the original heaven. It hints how to get to it. Practical advice and spiritual knowledge contained in this book, inspired by Padre Pio, guarantee every person who will study it that after death he can receive his salvation. He can count on getting out of the circle of cosmic light and out of his own DNA, which has trapped everyone in a hell of suffering. Padre Pio's book of knowledge can be opened to any page and started reading. Short thoughts, tied together by the buckle of compact knowledge, give the reader the comfort of thinking full collections of wisdom and knowledge.